Hello, my name is Anthony Ford, and I've got exciting news, fantastic news, in fact. My book, my author copy of my book, Twist Insanity: The Eye of Madness, has finally arrived, and it looks really, really good. So I'm really pleased about that. You can buy this book on Amazon, and it's also available on Kindle. And I'm going to read you a chapter of my book. I'm not going to read the entire chapter because I don't want to spoil it for all those that want to read it and buy it, obviously. But the first chapter as is all about Sarah, and it's gone back to her childhood and what led up to the offence that gave her multiple personality disorder. um, so I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. So let's begin. Twist Insanity: The Eye of Madness, Chapter 1. Zoe drank the rest of the whiskey in the bottle, feeling the warmth spread through her chest. With a slight wobble, she placed the empty bottle down on the rough stone steps that led to the porch. She rummaged through her pockets to find her keys, and when she found them, a sense of relief washed over her. Just as she was about to insert the key into the lock, the, the front door burst open that sent her heart racing. The force of it startled her, and for a moment she stood frozen with the key in her hand. A sister stood in the doorway. Dark brows were knitted together, and her arms were crossed tightly over her chest, as if she were physically containing her fury. Something had ignited her frustration. She could feel the tension crackling between them. But then her sister spoke, which broke the silence. "Where have you been?" Bonnie snapped. "Bonnie, why don't you just relax?" Zoe said, trying to sound calm. "You've been drinking. Get inside," she said in a stern voice. She led her sister inside and closed the door softly. She made a cup of coffee and gave it to Zoe. Her sister collapsed into a chair. Zoe placed the cup back onto the table, which was dressed in a simple, elegant tablecloth that added a touch of charm. "Bonnie," she slurred. "I apologise." A loud burp interrupted her words. Bonnie replied sarcastically, "I suppose that means everything is okay. But let me tell you, you do not know the harm you're causing yourself and those around you. Your daughter desperately needs your support. Social services will have to be called." "Please," she pleaded. Bonnie took a step back, carefully dodging the saliva that projected from her mouth. "I promise I'll do better. Please don't call them." With no warning, a sister erupted in a sudden burst of anger, as if a long simmering pot had finally reached its boiling point. Bonnie instinctively reacted by grabbing Zoe's wrists, desperately trying to contain her thrashing movements and prevent her from harming herself. But Zoe was beyond reason. Her eyes were wild with fury, and in a frantic struggle to break free from Bonnie's grasp, Zoe blindly kicked Bonnie in the legs with a loud thud. The impact was enough to send Bonnie tumbling backwards, but she kept her balance. Something in Bonnie snapped, and it unleashed a wave of intense anger. Bonnie punched Zoe in the face. The force of the blow sent Zoe flying backwards, her body flipping violently through the air. The sound of the impact was sickening. Zoe's head smashed into the table. The noise echoed through the room, followed by the crunch of bone against the solid surface. For a moment, the room was silent. Bonnie stood frozen, her eyes fixed on Zoe's motionless body. Her mind was filled with shock and disbelief. Bonnie bent down to examine the body as if she was in some kind of trance. A trembling hand reached out to find Zoe's pulse. Her fingers felt her wrist, but to her horror, there were no signs of life emanating from her motionless sister. A mirage of thoughts raced through her mind as she wrestled with the frightening question of how to dispose of Zoe's lifeless body. Incriminating evidence, invisible to the naked eye, would eventually come to light. If she wasn't careful, it could expose the truth. She understood that even the slightest oversight would undoubtedly serve as a betrayal, permanently damaging her chances of vindication. Though her intentions never ventured into the realm of murder, the courts wouldn't see it that way. She turned on the tap and watched the water flowing into the sink, and then she splashed the water onto her face. As she wiped the drops from her chin with a towel, she noticed small splatters of blood shimmering on the edge of the table nearby. A dishcloth hung loosely from a hook by the sink, slightly damp from its last use. She grabbed it, feeling the moisture still clinging to her fingers. She wiped at the bloodstains in a hurry, but it only seemed to spread the mess, and in frustration she threw the cloth to one side. Bonnie poured herself a glass of wine to steady her nerves. Its soothing aroma mingled with the room's air. She put the glass down on the counter near the sink. As she approached the table, her gaze was fixed straight ahead, with a blank expression plastered on her face. Her hand jolted, and suddenly, without warning, she knocked a bottle from the surface. The bottle fell rapidly with a crash, shattering it into a mirage of glittering shards. She impulsively reached for the shattered glass. Pain surged through her hand as one of the sharp fragments sliced through her flesh. Her blood splattered onto the shattered bottle. It contaminated the scene with the undeniable evidence of her existence. And that is part of chapter 1, and I hope you liked it. I'm not reading all of the chapter because I don't want to spoil it. But as I said, you can buy this on Amazon, and it's also available on Kindle. And I will also put the link that you can click, so you can click straight to Amazon so you can buy the book. And lastly, I'd like to thank everyone for your support. It means so much to me. And also, could you do me a favour, if you like any of my, when I post this on YouTube as well, could you all like my YouTube videos? Could you subscribe, like and share? It would mean so much to me. Also, because the power of words is such a powerful tool, could everyone please tell everyone about my book? Tell your friends, your family, strangers, everyone you meet, everyone that you work with, people that's not on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Tell everyone. The more people that know about it, the better. And lastly, I'd like to thank you all for your support, because without you, the book wouldn't sell and wouldn't do well. And also, everyone, you mean so much to me. So thank you so much again. And I'll see you soon. Bye.